everybody, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well, and I just want to say a happy Thanksgiving to all my American and Canadian friends who are celebrating it today. Have a happy Thanksgiving weekend. So, back to the video. Today's video is going to be about the Department of Work and Pensions, which here in the UK is the UK government agency that is responsible for the job centre and employment and all things to do with state benefits. So, as someone who attended a meeting about the DWP yesterday, which was a private meeting, so I wasn't able to record what I said to them, but I thought I would talk about what I said in depth and explain it from my disabled autistic perspective. So what I talked about yesterday, the meeting was about neurodiversity and how we could help each other better communicate with neurodiverse and disabled individuals who attend a job centre or who attend DWP meetings. During my own experiences with the DWP over the years, I thought it would be important to share my experiences with you. I'm going to be very, very honest. My experiences with the DWP have not all been positive. Some of them have, most of them have not. I feel that this is due to a breakdown in communication and misunderstanding. As someone who is on the autism spectrum and has general anxiety disorder, I feel that the job centre and the DWP misunderstand us by putting too much pressure on the disabled and the most vulnerable and the most weakest people in society. We are seen as a number and a target to get out of the door, and we're not treated as individuals. So what can we do to better support people who are disabled or have neurodiverse conditions or mental health conditions who attend the job centre or the DWP for any type of appointment? Well, I'm glad you asked. Number one, we need to be treated as an individual and not a target or a number to get through their doors. I understand the job centre has a target and has work they have to do to get us out of the way or through their independent system. But again, this leads to higher anxiety, higher upset, emotional stress, depression, and will lead us to withdraw from going to our agreed appointments or agreed telephone conversations if we're having telephone conversations over the phone. We also face sanctions as people on the autism spectrum or disability spectrum or people with mental health issues, because if we don't attend due to our anxiety or our depression or bipolar or associated mental health conditions or learning disabilities or learning difficulties, as I learned to say yesterday, we have to be reassured that the job centre won't automatically strip us of our benefits or threaten to take away our benefits just because we may not be able to cope that day with attending the job centre or going on a phone call with a job centre advisor because of the overwhelming stress, the overwhelming anxiety, the panic, the intense fear of the unknown, what's going to happen or what they think supposedly is going to happen. So again, you've got that build up of thinking, oh, I've got to be with a stranger, they don't understand who I am, they don't understand what disabilities I have, therefore I'm not going to either attend or I'll attend and say hardly anything because I'm so anxious I don't know what to say or if to say anything. That leads us into a bit of unnecessary stress, anxiety, depression and emotional upset. For me, I've had my benefits sanctioned about 3 times in the last 6 years that I've been claiming benefits, and it is entirely stressful when they sanction you without due reason and they say, oh, it's because you're not being compliant or you're refusing to take part. No, it's because of my autism and my anxiety that I can't take part, therefore I take myself away and don't join in with the group sessions that I'm requested to join in with. Or this is another thing that I get frustrated with. The job centre recently with me have started sending me to this group place called Restart, and I can't do it. It's group session work. It's not one-to-one like I was promised, so therefore I've withdrawn myself and not attended the sessions. I know that I'm at risk of getting my benefits sanctioned because they will say to me, oh, well, you're choosing not to take part. I can't because of my autism and anxiety. How I present myself, I may appear to you like I'm absolutely fine, like nothing's bothering me, but at the same point, I am a very anxious person. I do get panicky about being in big crowds, overwhelming places, especially places like the DWP and the job centre that are very noisy, very crowded, very overwhelming. They smell funny. There's people there who you may not know. You've got security guards. You've got the DWP staff staring at you. You've got people on their phones. You've got people typing typing, you've got people speaking to each other in the corridors. It can be a very overwhelming place to go if you are not used to it, or if you are new to that kind of environment. So another thing I want the DWP to take on to notice is the fact that if you are autistic, or you have a neurodiverse condition, whether that's learning disability, learning difficulty, bipolar, anxiety, borderline personality disorder, any of that kind of stuff, asthma, that kind of stuff. I'm not a medic, so I'm just quoting these disabilities as something that I've witnessed down at the job centre myself. With regards to the DWP, they need to better understand our needs, and during my time dealing with the job centre, I used to have a DEA, wonderful lady, wonderful, 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 wonderful lady. She was called Pat. And Pat was fantastic with me. She knew exactly how to help me. She knew exactly how to support me. She knew my needs. She knew about my autism. And then all of a sudden, after 2 years of working with her, I was told I was no longer entitled to her because I wasn't severe enough. I don't understand how the DWP have come to that judgment against me, because I am autistic. I am autistic till death do me part. So I don't understand how you've come to that rationalisation. Thought, oh, Gemma doesn't need her DAA anymore. We'll just transfer her over to a normal advisor. What? So basically, I told this to the DWP staff at the meeting yesterday. I explained that I needed to be put back under my DEA, or a new DEA, and luckily a lady who was there at that meeting was able to understand my story and my experiences. She said that she was going to be able to work with me, but unfortunately she's now on Christmas holiday, or annual leave holiday, until December 6th, so I won't be able to get into contact with her till after December 6th. And speak to her about swapping me over from my current advisor to her, and then hopefully start the process over again, working with her, talking about my autism diagnosis and how to best support me to look for work, or maybe potentially go on to another benefit that is more suitable for me at this time, because I am getting stressed out with looking for work and the lack of support that there is at the DWP. Or the JCP, the job centre, because they don't really understand how to help me or how to best support my needs. And when you attend the DWP or JCP, it is a very overwhelming building to be part of. You are there as part of a number. You are there to be seen and put back out the door again. It's not the most focused place for you to be, and they expect so much out of you when you're down there. They give you so much overload of information. Like, I have sheets upon sheets upon sheets upon sheets of all this information, which I don't understand why they give you all this at one appointment. I need short, simple set of instructions, what I need to be doing, and then I can go away and do them. Not sheets upon sheets upon sheets upon sheets upon sheets of all this useless information, which I don't know why they do it. I know it's probably to do with their paperwork and to do with their structure of what they have to do to be seen that they're helping people. I get it, but for me, it's just sensory overwhelm, the anxiety of having to process all that and go, oh my god, I've got to actually read all this and do all this within the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, whenever I next see my advisor at that point. Every time that I attend a job centre, I feel intensely anxious. I feel sweaty. I feel nervous. I tense up. I'm like, oh no, here we go again. I've got to go through all the same process again. I get the dry mouth. I get the headache. I think, oh god, here we go again. It's going to be the same old, same old. Like, oh, what have you done to look for work, Gemma? You know, you should be doing this, and that intense anxiety, that pressure you put on me to look for work 2 hours each way. I'm sorry, but 2 hours each way to look for work is absolute absurd, ridiculous. I can't travel more than an hour. It's just, it can't be done. Like, for me to travel more than an hour each way to look for work is ridiculous. It causes me heightened anxiety, heightened emotional state, heightened depression state, and sensory overload. I just can't do it. I don't see how the hell you think the government thinks I'm fit enough and well enough to travel 2 hours each way. Do you realize how intensely dangerous that is, to put a pressure on someone with autism or disability who has limited travel? I have to have train or bus route. I have to have a centre town job because I need to be able to get there and get home. The stress of planning what time I need to be there, what time I need to get home. And I don't want to be travelling in the dark to and from work. I just don't want to be doing it. It's just not safe for me to be doing it, and causes me more stress than it does getting there. And plus, a lot of the time, the jobs you are referring me to are absolute pointless. Like, I've been referred to jobs in Woodbridge, in Leiston, and Martlesham. I'm like, I can't get there. Like, it's going to take me over an hour to get to work, and then it's going to cost me more in travelling than it would be working my wages. So how is that practical? How is that supporting me? How is that helping my needs and get me into work? It's not. You just basically made me worse off than I would have been originally. So therefore that is a non-starter. Also, with anxiety and sensory overwhelm, you don't realise how overwhelming you put the pressure on people. But the way you interact with people, you always say, oh, you have to do this, and if you don't, then you'll be sanctioned, or if you don't, this will lead to a sanction. No, you need to stop and think about the way you communicate with people on the spectrum with disabilities, with mental health disorders, physical disorders, because when they attend and ask you for help, and when they're doing as what they're told by the DWP, by the government, they're adhering to their appointments, maybe you could also look into breaking down the information so the information isn't so overwhelming to them, and it isn't so pressurizing and daunting and doom and gloom, because a lot of it is very, oh my god, what? I've got to do this before I get a sanction, or I get my benefits restricted, or I'm told I face losing 2 weeks of benefit. Instead of threatening to take away our benefits, why don't you sit down with us and actually help us rather than putting that sanction against us? Because again, that leads to the stress and anxiety, thinking, what am I going to do now? I regard that money to live on. So, we need to make appointment times longer as well. That's another thing I want to clear up. Waiting appointments are not long enough. The appointments that we have with you are 10 minutes. That's not enough. We need to be having at least 20-minute, maybe a half-hour appointments just to go through how are we, have we coped, have we done this, have we done that, and then give us our set instructions for the following appointment, rather than going, it needs to do this, I'll see you in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, whatever, because it's not clear. You don't clarify things, and then you wonder why we're on a heightened state of alert. So that's just something that I've witnessed as an autistic person myself. Also, don't force people to go into these places like Read Restart, Papworth Trust, other places that I've been sent to in the past, CTEC, to do group sessions with advisors we don't know who are not trained. Please do not send us to places that are not trained in autism disability, because they're not helping our needs. They're not helping us as an individual. They're not helping us as a company. They are then putting themselves at risk of failing disabled people who need a little bit extra support by having just the most basic reasonable adjustments, by dimming the lights, having a private room, longer appointments, breaking down the information, making it so we have a morning, early afternoon, late afternoon appointment, or even having a telephone call to avoid the face-to-face situation, so you're not overwhelming with the anxiety, fear, panic, upset, stress. Just think about the ways you can better interact with people. Take the time to get to know them. Take the time to listen to them, because they can help you as well as you can potentially help us. So please like, comment, share and subscribe. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I'll be back next time. Bye!